All right. Okay, so April 16th, another day. Welcome back, guys. Double Seven Wall Street here. It's, doing the daily trade journal and recaps on the VX algo signals. So this way we can see how to play them, how to effectively use them, and how well they work. So we started with. Let me go into the 1 minute time frame because we have a lot of signals today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 10 signals today. So started the market open. I stopped trading, I think around 10, 11, 12-ish maybe. So started with the market open. We had the first signal at 9:30 a.m. That detected a triple buy signal, and that's usually one of our best signals. So that was here, 9:30. You can see we got that huge pop. And ideally, our max target should have been this 1 minute resistance over here in the red line. I think that's the 200. So essentially, we got a pop from 53.66 to 53.88 at most. That's about 22 points if you caught that. Ideally, you only need to catch 5, 10 points of that, maybe even 15. You don't need to catch that whole 22. And then 11:06, we had a sell signal. Let's see. Okay, that was right here. Had a sell signal there. Obviously, if you took it there, you probably wouldn't have made money. At most, you break even. But I was actually in the chat room at that time, and I told you guys to take it around here. That's where I took it. You could also essentially take it at the MOB as well, which would be another good way to take it. And MOB was at 53.76. If you took it MOB, you could have gone out at 53.68. That's about 8-point move there. Obviously, you wouldn't have sold the bottom, so you could probably sold it for 5 points. But if you got in at where I got in at, which was over here on the top, so around 53.80 to 53.68, that's about 12 points. So you could easily capture 10 points. That's what I usually look for. And then one minute after that signal, we also got market structure flipping bullish. So essentially, you could also use it to go bullish as well on this moving average here, or even at the MOB. And if you went bullish at the MOB, that's 53.75. Lowest was 68. If you had a 10-point stop loss, you would have at most gone pushed back 7 points and you would still been okay. And then it would have pushed back all the way up from 53.75 to all the way to like what? 54.01. So that's about 25-point move on the market structure signal. So that was a pretty good play here. And then we got 11:40, got another sell signal. So that's the ES and YM double sell signal. Where was that? It's right here. So that signal worked out pretty well. That kind of captured the high of the day. Huge move from there to there, right? So 53.86 to as low as 53.56. That's what, 30 points. So you don't need to capture the whole 30. You just need to capture 5, 10, 15 at most, right? And then we got market structure flip bearish at 12:30. So that is around where? Over here. Market structure flip bearish, right? So what does that mean? That means you short the resistance. So we have this small line here. Just keep shorting that small line. Essentially, that's 53.61, 53.54, 5-point there. No real move until this big play here. But you could essentially just scalp a few points there, probably 5 points and a scalp of resistance to 5 points down. So resistance is 63 to as low as 57, 61 to as low as 54, and then 61 again. Just scalp that to 52. So those are all 5-point scalps there. 60 to as low as 51. Couldn't capture another 5-point there. Could have done it again here. 59 59 would have been as high as 66. So if you had a 10-point stop loss, you would still be good. It would have pushed you up against 7 points. Came back to break even or lower, and then pushed up again. And then this is where the big drop happened. So let's see if we had any signals on that. So 1256, we had a buy signal, it says. Okay, that could have worked. 1256 was around here. Had a buy signal. You could essentially bought at any of these lows, and you could have sold off over here. This is a 120. So about 20-minute hold, 22, 24-minute hold. And then 118 had a double buy signal. Ooh, I got a feeling that one didn't work well. So 118 was somewhere on the top here, double buy signal. If you bought up here, you probably wouldn't have made much, maybe scalp for 3 to 5 points. But if you bought over here at this support, probably 53.57 to 53.65, easy 5 point there again. That's not bad. And then 223, another buy signal, and 330, another buy signal. Do I even want to see that? 223 is off this area here. So say worst case, you bought at 53.08. At most, you could get 53.16-ish, 53.17. So that's about 8-9 points. So 5 point would have been a good play there. And then 330. 330, this was the one. This was the best one there. But honestly, probably wouldn't have want to play anything after 2. But this was the big one. If you caught this one caught the big move. 52.56. All the way to 53.13, 53.16 even. Now 53.13. So 56 to 13, that's about 50-60 points. Huge move in the last one there. So overall, signal worked out pretty good. There were some iffy ones where if you were too greedy, you wouldn't have made money. But if you keep shooting for 5 points, really, really easy money to be made there. A lot of opportunity. I personally made 1,300 just trading on the early part of the day. This early signal and the second signal worked out pretty good. I think there was an MOB play too. Yeah, I played the MOB too today. That's how I made a lot of the money. I shorted the MOB and also went long on the MOB too, I think. So let's go over what we think is going to happen in the market. So yesterday I spoke about how 48-minute, if we lost that support, we're going to get cooked. It's going to go downhill, right? And then 10-minute, I said that, hey, if we lost this on the 10-minute here, we're done, right? I said that yesterday. And we lost it. We lost it today. You saw that huge flush, right? Right when we lost it. So there's a lot of things to be placed on these levels. And then on the 48-minute, we also had this major level there. We lost it. We flush. We're now back testing it, not breaking through it yet. But essentially, right now, we're bearish. We're bearish now because the candlestick is under all the moving averages, which means we're bearish. That means every time we go against one of these moving averages, we're gonna most likely reject and go down. Then 195 time frame doesn't look that great either. Let's see. Yeah, 195 time frame also lost that moving average there. So we had here, push here, and it was supposed to break out to here. And that didn't happen. So now we lost it. We're coming under the yellow moving average. We tried to test it and hold. It couldn't hold today. So that's done. That's cooked. 97, same thing. All the time frames is not looking good. So the next thing that we're looking for right now on the chart is, as you can see here, if none of those supports hold, we're naturally going to come back down to here. Will we hold this MOB again? Possibly. Could we lose it and go down further? Possibly. That's possible as well. But on the daily time frame, things are kind of supporting that theory to push back down to the MOB. I don't know what's going to get us there. Maybe the Netflix earnings is going to be so bad it's going to flush us. Or maybe it's going to be so good we're gonna come back to reverse. But you have to also understand that from this earlier flush of the month, we also have a lot of def cross here and def cross there, which always follow with more breakdown. So, oh man, we went really, really far in this video. If anybody watched it to the end, congrats. I hope it helps. I hope it gives you guys a better idea of understanding the signals and the market trend and where the market direction is. So far, I have been pretty lucky. I have been on point like the last 10 videos on market direction so far. And I hope that doesn't change. I hope we continue to get lucky, because if you can read the market, you understand the market direction well, you'll make money. And that means if I miscalculate the direction for tomorrow, I'm probably not gonna make money. So we'll see how that works. Good luck and have a great day, guys.